We're here today with Kent Niebrugge. Growing up, Kent, tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I was born here in Teutopolis. I'm the third of four children to Jim and Alice Niebrugge. I grew up in a great neighborhood. In my neighborhood, we had a lot of people who were very interested in playing sports. We did something every day. We were outside playing wiffle ball, basketball, baseball, you name it. It was just a really good time to grow up in a really good town, and I had a really good childhood. I went to school here at Teutopolis. I graduated in 1988. Tried to be involved in sports as much as I could. It was kind of always a driving force, just wanting to play ball, that type of thing. After high school, I had an opportunity to play basketball at Lakeland College, and I took that, and that ended up being a really good move. I probably wouldn't be coaching had I not done that. I met a lot of really, really good people at Lakeland, and I've got some lifelong friends, from that, and several of those guys are coaches today, and I talk to those guys frequently, and I've got lifelong friends from my days at Lakeland. And then I went to Illinois State, and it was quite a jump going to Illinois State. I was a little more than naive growing up here, and Illinois State was really big, and it took me a little while to get adjusted to that. And I remember I actually wanted to come home, and at Christmas time my mom told me, no, you got to go back. And she's like, you've got a lease, you've paid for it, you're going back, you can transfer at the end of the year. But I gave it a shot, and stuck with it. Ended up meeting a lot of really good people there. Had a really good experience there, and enjoyed it quite a bit.
What coaching positions did you have before coaching the 8th grade boys basketball here at T-Town?
Well, when I first, my first teaching job was in Kinmundy at South Central, and I coached. I was an assistant coach to Kurt Jones in both baseball and basketball, and I actually coached the 7th grade team, and they were in the Southern Illinois Association, so you called it JV and varsity. And the way that kind of worked is Kurt pretty much took all the best players, and he gave me the other guys, and I wasn't very good. I look back at that, and I would like to have a video of some of those games and just see what I did or what I didn't do, I guess, to make those kids into better basketball players. But coaching is one of those things. It's a lot different than playing. I hear people all the time say, "Hey, that guy was a good player. He'll be a good coach." And really, how well you put a ball in the hole or how well you handle a basketball really has no bearing on what kind of coach you're going to be. But anyway, I really enjoyed my time there. Liked it a lot. Met a lot of really good people down there. It was fantastic. But then I had the opportunity to come back to Teutopolis, and I interviewed here, and I remember at the very end of, well, not the very end, but towards the end of the interview, he said, "Hey," it was Bob Shanks at the time and Jim Hackman, and they said, "Are you willing to coach girls basketball?" And I said, "Absolutely," and started coaching girls basketball, and I did that for 4 years, and I really enjoyed it. According to some of the girls that I coached, they say that I said I would never coach boys after coaching girls, and that I preferred that. They tell me that, and maybe I did. I don't really remember that, but I did enjoy it. I had a lot of we had some nice teams and a lot of girls, and that played well, worked really hard, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then I want to say in my 4th year of coaching the girls, I started coaching the boys Fresh South at the same time, and the girls would end their season in December, and then the Fresh South really didn't start playing games until December. So I kind of did some double duty. I would coach Fresh South guys in the morning, and then after school I'd have girls practice, and it worked out pretty well. I look back and I wonder how I kind of juggled that, but I got it done. And then I coached Fresh South. I coached with Andy Fehrenbacher for 2 seasons, and then Rich Prupps for 1. So I did that for 3 years. And during that time, as I was coaching the Fresh South with those guys, the junior high position had opened up, and so I started doing double duty with that. And that was a little more difficult, just as far as games, matching up with other games and things of that nature.
So how many years exactly have you been the head basketball coach for the 8th grade boys?
Well, this is my 22nd season. This season's a little bit unique. We haven't really had a season yet, but this would be number 22 for me.
Craziest games you have ever seen in your life as a basketball coach?
I recall back when I was coaching Fresh South with Andy Fehrenbacher, and we were over at Stewardson, and Stewardson had a group of, and I don't remember if we were freshmen or sophomores exactly, but they had a group that had been very successful all through junior high. They ended up being a very nice varsity basketball team as well. And we were playing at Stewardson, and we had a lead, and I want to say we were up 3 points, and we had fouls to give with maybe 3-4 seconds to go. And we called a timeout, and we said, hey, guys, we've got fouls to give. When the guy gets the ball, takes the dribble, foul him, and we'll make him take it out again, we'll foul him again. We have fouls to give. So the ball is inbounded, and we foul the guy, and he gets around the guy, and another guy fouls that guy, and he's getting toward half court, and another guy fouls that guy, and there's no whistle. And we're just hanging all over this guy, and he finally fires one up at half court with a guy fouling him, and he banks it in, and they call a foul. So they go to the line and make a free throw with no time on the clock for a 1-point game. I didn't handle that real well. I needed some answers, and I tried to get in contact with the officials. But nonetheless, that was one of those games that you get done and you wonder, how in the world did that just happen? And that would be one. And then I recall this one I was not actually coaching. Doug Smith was coaching a state tournament. The current sophomores were playing in the semifinals up in Winona against Glenwood Brookwood. And this Glenwood team they were a pretty nice team, and we got down, I think, maybe 14 points, and there were 2.5 minutes to go in this ball game. And I remember us rallying back and tying that game and going into double overtime, and ended up winning and then advancing to the state title game. And you don't see a lot of games of that caliber that you're down that many points to that kind of team and somehow come back. And it just the atmosphere was electric. I just remember it was pure chaos in that gym. And I can actually remember my son was shooting free throws with under a minute to go, and I just sat there with my hands together and kind of looked at my shoes. I was just really uptight, and I couldn't hardly watch. So I guess those are a couple games that stand out to me.
As a coach, what did it mean to you to coach your son, James?
Well, I think anytime an individual coaches their own son, it's kind of a slippery slope. There are a lot of goods, and then there are some negatives too. It's tough. Some people prefer not to do it. But I definitely have a lot of great memories. We had a great time, and it went by so fast. I remember when they were younger, his class, and playing and doing stuff, and I remember thinking, this will be great when they get in junior high. I'm looking forward to that. And the next thing you know, they're done, and it's over, and it happened really, really quickly. But he was fortunate to, his class had a lot of nice ball players, a lot of good parents. We had a good time. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I just can't believe how quickly it happened and how quickly it just come and gone.
Favorite game to have coached?
Well, I don't know that I have a favorite game, but I do think that the postseason games are definitely the best ones. And we've fortunately had a lot of postseason games over the years. And we get great fan support, great backing, and just to feel the electricity in the gym and to watch people, and it's win or go home, and advancing to the state tournament, that's just a whole nother level. You watch the kids when you get off the bus and come in, and you got to get dressed and take your pictures, and they do the individuals and the team stuff, and those kids are on cloud nine, and that's they just love it. And it's one of those things, if you're in junior high and you go to state, you're just it doesn't get any better than that at that point in your life. And so for me, I really enjoyed just the whole atmosphere of the postseason and getting to the state tournament, and we've had good success, and to watch those kids, their parents, the fans, the cheerleaders, etc. And and then you throw on the fire truck rides and all that type of thing. And so I guess to me those are the best games.
How do you manage coaching, spending time with family, and watching James play all at once?
Well, for starters, you better marry the right person. It takes a very understanding wife. Fortunately, when Angie and I started dating, I was already coaching and doing those type of things. And she knew what to expect. And, but there are a lot of times where you're not there. You're not always there to put the kids to bed or help your wife with different things. You're on the road, bus leaves at 4:30 and you get home and it's 9:30 and your kids are already asleep, and that's kind of tough. Looking back, I missed a lot of things, but at the same time, Angie was really good about always making sure that the kids were at the ball games. Sometimes they would ride the bus with me. After school, they would come to the junior high and do their homework and hang out and things of that nature. So those things always help. And sometimes they would, like I said, James would ride the bus more so than Claire. But as far as missing games, we've been pretty fortunate that Pat Drace knows. And he understands that I'm not going to that I don't want to miss my kids' ball games, and he's been great about it. He's worked with me and talked about scheduling and looking at the varsity schedule, and I, at the same time, I think the kids that are playing junior high basketball should be at the high school boys games too. So I don't want us to be playing on the nights that varsity plays, and sometimes maybe the varsity has a shootout and we've got something on a Saturday, and we might have a little conflict there, but for the most part, I've been able to watch, 90% of James's games. Last year he got hurt and he was out most of the season. And that was really the season where we were really going to see how tough it was. And now this season, we haven't had a season yet. So we're still finding out. But I think, Pat Drace he's going to do a really good job of helping me and making sure that I can be with my family and see my son play as much as possible.
Now that you are inducted to the Hall of Fame, what does it mean to you to be inducted as a coach?
It's a very nice honor, and I was flattered when I found out that I was going to be inducted. There are a lot of really good people that are in the Hall of Fame, and so to be included with those people, it's a very nice honor. And one of the really unique things or interesting things that I found, that after I had been inducted and people like yourself put it on Facebook and it was on the news, I started getting texts from people, and then I started getting more and more text or emails and from people that I hadn't heard from in quite a while, people from back at, when I went to Illinois State, people that I had lost contact with, and I kind of had to ask them, how'd you get my number, or this and that. They look you up, and so it was really neat that it kind of reconnected me with a lot of people that I hadn't been around for a long time, and a lot of people reached out, and it's always nice to get an award. It's nice to be recognized in that regard. So just overall, it was a good thing.
When did you find out you were officially inducted?
Well, officially inducted, Mike Funneman sent me a text with a screenshot from the WA&D News, I believe. And first I think he said congratulations, and I think I put on what, And then he sent me the screenshot and sent that to me. And I knew that I was going to be nominated. Steve Allen had sent me a letter saying that he wanted to nominate me, ask me different questions, how many wins, years, that type of thing. And then, I didn't hear from him because, there's probably a 6-7 month stretch in there. And then one day I get home from work and grab the mail and I see a letter. It's labeled IBCA and it says, hey, congratulations. You will be inducted into this year's class of Hall of Fame for the IBCA, and it said we'll follow up with some information. And I think I was kind of excited. I think I read the letter all the way through because it talked about when some things were going to take place, and I didn't worry about it too much. And the next thing I know, like I said, I've got people sending me texts and screenshots from the news, and so I guess I really didn't even know that I had been inducted yet.
How many times have you been to the state tournament, and how many times have you won the state title?
Well, I went back. I kind of thought you might ask this question, so I had to look up a few things. And by my count, we've been there 8 times, and we've won it on 3 occasions. And we've also placed second on 2 different times. So we've been in the state championship game 5 times altogether.
The most memorable team that you have coached?
Well, I don't think you can just single out one team. Over the course of 20 some years, you've got a lot of teams that are pretty memorable. Each team is unique in their own way. It's not always your best teams that are the most memorable. Sometimes you have those teams that maybe aren't quite as good, aren't quite as gifted. Maybe they haven't matured very much, and they've got to battle a little bit more than other teams. And so you got a lot of teams that stand out and you have fond memories of. I can remember probably about my 4th or 5th year, I had a team that, we weren't real big, we weren't that quick. Had a lot of guys that were just small yet. And I remember as 7th graders, they didn't do very well. They had a rough time of it. That was back when we were in the national trail, and if they finished 5th place, they were probably lucky that year. And that next year, those guys really came together, worked really hard. They knew their limitations, and had a really good season. I remember we got 2nd place in the conference, we got to the regional championship. And so it's teams like that sometimes. They may not advance as far, may not get as many W's, but you look at those teams and you're just you're proud of them. You're impressed with how they do things.
How long have you coached the 8th grade baseball team?
This past fall was my 19th season. I was an assistant to Steve Fritcher for 2 seasons, and then Steve stepped down and I took over. The first season was 2002.
Name your memorable players for baseball and basketball.
I've been fortunate to have coached a lot of kids. Sometimes the same kids you coach in baseball are the same guys in basketball, but not always. And you have kids that may not play both sports. But I've been very fortunate to have coached a lot of kids that were really fun to coach and enjoyed it quite a bit. I can't really pinpoint or say certain individuals, but I will tell you that what's really nice is you coach these kids when they're in junior high, and you watch them grow up. And, a lot of these times I know these kids when they're in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade already. So then you coach them in junior high, and then you watch them advance and go into high school. Some of them stay with it, some of them don't. The ones that do, you get to watch them play at the high school level, which is very rewarding. But then also you have guys that may not be their thing. They don't stick with it, but you just watch them develop as a person and become a citizen, within Teutopolis. And sometimes they move away, and it's great to see them when they come home, run into them different times, different holidays, and they come up and talk to you, and that's very rewarding.
Biggest role model and why that person?
I don't know that I can single out certain role models. I don't know that I necessarily had a role model. I had a lot of people that that were really good people, a lot of people that were influential. I think my parents did a good job of raising my brothers, or my brother, my sisters, and I think everything starts with that, the good family structure that I had, that so many other people are fortunate to have. And, just growing up, like I said, I had a great neighborhood, a lot of people around that were good people, a lot of really good teachers through the years. I was fortunate to have a lot of coaches that were really good people that really cared about you. And then, all the way through school and into college, it's the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you associate with. If you're around good people, I think good things happen.
So I hear you weren't going to pursue teaching or coaching. Tell me a little about that.
Well, when I was still at Illinois State, I did my student teaching at Bloomington High School, and I did not have a very good experience with my student teaching, and I really could not see myself going into teaching and doing this, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I didn't think teaching was what I wanted to do. And then my neighbor, Amy Werman, her husband started talking to me about working with life insurance, and I did kind of an informal internship, I guess we could call it, and I was doing that, and I don't really think that was for me either. I don't think I had what it took to do that. And there was an individual that I had gotten to know a little bit in Bloomington, and he was a realtor, and he was talking with me, and he had me show houses with him and do some things like that. Kind of thought maybe I should go that route. And then I started looking at some other things, and I had applied to the police academy, and was kind of weighing that a little bit as an option. And I was at my grandma's house for it was probably Easter would be my guess, and my uncle, Fred Walk, who was a teacher at Normal Community High School, and I always looked up to Fred quite a bit, and I think my mom got a hold of Fred probably and said, "Hey, can you talk to my son? He's went to college, he's done, he doesn't want to teach anymore," one of those things. But Fred talked to me and got to talk to me about, not every place is like Bloomington High School. And he said there are a lot of places that the atmosphere is going to be completely different. He said, give it a try. Get a job, go out there. If you don't like it, nobody's going to make you stay. Give it a try. You never know. And and I did, and I got to my job at Kent Niebrugge, and I loved it. And I knew right away that this is something I wanted to do. One of the things when you coach, and like I said, and we've talked about, I've coached for a long time, and it's the relationships you build with other coaches, officials, just people that are involved in the game, people that that maybe work the clock or keep the book at certain gyms, at certain schools, and you get to know them over time. I've got several really good friends from coaching. Rod Weetop over at Effingham, he's been coaching longer than I have, and we've been really good friends over the years. And Steve Conlon at Matt Toon, same thing. He was coaching junior high, but we probably started right around the same time, and have made formed good friendships. And Randy Harpster over at Charleston. Randy, he moved on to the high school, but we still stay in touch. We still get together, and I've got the same thing on the baseball side of stuff. There's coaches. Matt Smith up at Mount Zion, I remember we started our first year together, and it's one of those things you get done with a game and you call each other and talk about this team or that team or how things went. So yeah, you meet a lot of great people, you form friendships, you get to know people that you probably would have never met or probably would not have formed a friendship with, and that's the side of coaching that a lot of people don't know maybe or don't understand, and it's a great added bonus.
Kent, thank you for your time. Congratulations on being inducted to the Hall of Fame as a coach, and good luck to you the rest of your career.
Tyler, thank you. I appreciate you coming over and spending time. I appreciate all the information you bring to the community and the people. I think you do an outstanding job. Keep it up.
All the local athletes and coaches who were selected. Coaches Kent Niebrugge and Ron Reed are on the list.